When I first arrived in Winnebago, Nebraska, fresh out of law school in 1984, Reuben was the chairman of the Winnebago Tribe, and I went to introduce myself just to say that there's a legal aid lawyer in town, and I'd like to say how do you do and ask you if there's anything that you might have in mind that I should look into or help out with. And it was like he had been waiting for me to arrive. And he laid out this litany that he had obviously thought about long and hard, about all these major things he wanted to do for his people. Well, I thought he was dreaming. But it turned out, of course, that he was right, and we fought long and hard, but we won on all of those things that he wanted to do that first day that I thought was a dream list. They were all done in about 5 years. And it was simply remarkable. His people had their own court system. The Indian children were no longer being taken from the reservation and put into non-Indian foster families. The remains of Indians that had been once buried in Nebraska and later dug up and shipped off to museums were returned to the cultures they came from and reburied with dignity, and police escorts to the new burial grounds. Before Reuben died, he set the wheels in motion, almost prayer wheels, you could say. He founded the Native American Religious Freedom Project. He testified at the first congressional hearing, and he recruited other Native American church leaders to come forward and to speak out and to make sure that that damage was undone, and that the dignity that church deserved was restored to it.
A lot of people think that we're a superstitious people, that we practice sorcery and things of this nature, because this is the part of the popular culture that is passed on through the media. But through this new foundation, we're hopeful to correct those kind of errors and to make people understand that what we're involved in is a way of life, a spiritual way of life. This is the beginning, again, of something good. As you go away from here, we ask you to be the runners for us. So you have witnessed and you have participated in all of this. So we ask you to take this message out with you to wherever you go. That things are going to change some more for the better.
My people say, you do something good for the people. In a way, you kind of pay for it. The tribe pays for it. There's a sacrifice. Somebody's life can come to an end, but he's going to leave a legacy. That person dies going to be remembered a long, long time. And I kind of see Reuben that way. He worked hard at this. Now he's gone. He didn't get to see the fruits of his labor, but he's going to be remembered. Maybe you and I are not going to be able to do anything like that, but he made a way for us. He left a legacy, as the white people say, so that I remember him that way. And my people say, when you do something good in memory of a deceased person, wherever that person is, spirit world is going to know about it. So what was said and done in his behalf in that sweet memory, well, he knows about it. And he probably feels good about it. Maybe he danced by it.
Reuben offered a prayer at a ceremony honoring Justice Sandra Day O'Connor in the United States Supreme Court chambers after her vote against the church in the Smith case. Many lesser men would not have done such a thing, but he was asked in his capacity of as the director of the cultural program at the Institute of American Indian Art in Santa Fe at that time. He was asked to offer the prayer in the ceremony honoring Justice O'Connor, and he did it, and did it from the heart, I have no doubt. As we began to work on overturning the Supreme Court decision by getting a law passed in the Congress, I questioned him about his health and about all the other hats that he had to wear, serving on different boards and all these things that he did that people relied on him for throughout the country. And he said he was going to take off all those hats, even his paid job working as a legislative assistant to Senator Kerry. And that he would devote the rest of his life to this if need be. And of course, that's what happened. He gave his life to this fight. He gave more energy than he had to give.
On June 28, 1993, 6 months after the completion of this program, the executive producer of the Peyote Road, Reuben A. Snake, Jr., passed away. In spite of his ailing health, Reuben spent the final years of his life working to secure legislation to protect the Native American church way of life. Reuben will be remembered for his humor, his wisdom, and his dedication to Indian people of many nations.
I want to say thank you to you. I was asked how long I was going to go on. All the people where I come from, they know me. When I eat the sacred medicine, I could talk for an hour without inhaling. Then when I eat the kind of meal that I enjoyed here, I can talk 2 hours without inhaling. And then also, again, back where I come from, our people, the tribes where I come from, when you say something agreeable, everybody says, ahoo. Okay. And I haven't heard any ahoos over here. So I'm going to try to quit talking. But that's all right, too, because, like I said, there are cultural differences. I said this to a group of Pueblo Indians. When I was talking, they were all sitting there listening to me, and nobody said ahoo. So I said that to them. I said, when I talk back home, people say ahoo to me. So one of my Tewa brothers from Taos, Pueblo, he said, hey, brother, in the Tewa dialect, ahoo means kill him. So I don't ask for too many ahoos anymore.